And I've got Miss Mary with me, who we all love, right? And see that smile. And she is going to, okay, so some of you did see it. Oh, some of you are seeing it right now. Interesting. Laura said, "We love this one. My husband and I watched it over and over." Yeah, good. It's so cute. Yes. Like, what made him think to go in slow motion? Slow motion.
Maybe they show it that way on TV sometimes.
Yeah.
Slow motion.
Maybe. I know. It was so cute. So cute. All right. So today I asked Mary if she would show us something that has made a difference in her quilting life. I said, do you have a special tip, trick, something that has just you do all the time when you quilt and has made a big difference. So she came up with something, right? Of course, because there's lots of things that we learn along the way that help us make things easier. So today she's going to talk to us a little bit about chain piecing. However, it's not like normal chain piecing. For those of you who are quilters and you're like, oh yeah, I'm familiar with chain piecing, it's a little bit different. Now, normal chain piecing, we might be used to, especially, I want to explain this for those of you who might not know what chain piecing is that you're sewing like block to block, piece to piece, but rather than stopping and taking out your thread, pulling out your project, cutting your thread, then moving on to the next thing, you do what's called chain piecing, and you just go one after another, after another, after another, all right? So when she said chain piecing to me, at first I thought, oh, okay, yeah, I bet there's a lot who'd want to know how to chain piece. However, today she's going to talk about chain piecing a quilt. And what that means is you're actually now going to chain piece rows together. So let's take a look. I cut up some squares for Mary today, so she'd do that. And do you have a chair? No?
Let me grab one.
Okay. All right, so we'll go over and do that. Hey, Dia said she's still waiting to have a curves class with you, Mary.
I know.
Yeah, we need to get that on the docket.
We need to get busy.
Yeah. Yep, for sure. That's a great idea. So, let's see. Kenzie said, ooh, if this is what I think it is, I'm so excited to learn this. Oh, I hope so. And Laura says, thanks for the black button on the foot tip, Kris. Using it all the time now. Fabulous. I am so happy to hear that. What are you looking for?
I'm looking for just a basic pattern. Let me see. Oh, one of these would work.
Okay.
Just to kind of show a sample.
Okay. All right. So we're going to come over here to my little sewing area. Okay. Whoops.
Oh, there I am. Hello.
Oh, hello.
Hello. Okay.
I'm just going to come right over here. Yeah. There we go.
Okay. So, we're going to do a little thing that I like to call pretend.
To pretend?
Pretend.
Okay.
Pretend this is our quilt.
Okay.
Okay. Now, it's small blocks, but it is one. Oh, that one's not a very good one. Let's go to this one over here. This one is like a 4x4 quilt.
Okay. Can you hold that up a little closer?
Oh,
other way.
I'm so bad at this.
Okay.
The second purple block. Right there. This one. 4x4. Okay? That's going to be our quilt. 4x4. So when I'm sewing, I'm going to think about the first block and the second block on the first row. Then I'm going to think about the second row, first block and the second block, all the way down. When I get to the bottom, I'm going to come back up to the top. My fingers do not like this. And then I start on the third row and I continue sewing all the way down. And
so
the fourth
you
row.
never, when you do this, Mary, you are never like laying something out.
No.
And doing it one row at a time.
I have piles of blocks different blocks. It doesn't matter what kind of quilt I'm doing.
Mm-hmm.
I'll have different blocks laying everywhere, and I'm just picking one up and putting it where it needs to be.
Okay.
I'm looking at my pattern so I can see where that design is. So it really doesn't matter what the design of the quilt is, as long as your blocks are straight. I've even done it on point, but we won't go there. As long as you've got a grid, 4 by 5 or whatever your grid is, that's what you have to think of.
So this is really the most efficient way of putting together a quilt top.
Yes. Yes.
You're speedy.
Oh,
I mean,
very fast.
If I want a sample made, you guys, I just ask Mary.
Hello. Done.
Because she is so fast.
Because no matter what quilt I'm doing, I will just pile on my blocks. I look at my pattern and I just go down, 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 down.
Okay.
And then all my rows are together. I lay it out. That way, if I turn something wrong, I can find it. And I just clip that one out and fix it and move on. Then all I have to do is sew my rows together.
I love it.
And then it's done. And usually I won't press my rows in between. I will just finger press the seams.
Oh, really?
Then afterwards I can press my entire quilt the way
Really?
I want it. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So what I'm going to show you is just simple squares. So I want you to think of a grid, like 4 by 5. We'll see how many squares she has for me here.
Okay. I cut a whole bunch because basically I want you to make a quilt for me, Mary.
Okay, I'll do that.
That's right.
That. So I'm just going to sort these out a little bit so I can have variety to pick up.
Okay.
So no matter what quilt I'm doing, I just always have a variety. So what I'm thinking of is I'm just going to do and start sewing. Let me see if I know how to use this foot. This foot is a different foot.
I set it up for you. Oh, now you've
I
changed
push
it.
buttons. Okay.
Don't push buttons.
I pushed buttons. Okay. So now I won't break a foot or a needle.
Okay.
Okay, how do I get this down? Right there. And feed dogs. Raise the feed dog and start.
Right.
Remove
Okay.
foot control.
Right hand side, there's a little.
Remove foot control.
No.
I don't want the foot.
No. Oh, you don't want the
No.
foot? Oh, okay.
I don't
All
use
right.
the foot.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, gosh.
Raise the feed dogs.
Yeah, it's on the right hand side. There we go. Sorry, I was doing free motion quilting earlier.
Oh, of course. Okay, so now I can start. So all I'm thinking is rows.
So notice that Mary did not take out the block and cut the threads. Okay, she's just doing one thing after another. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to put my little highlight over top of you.
Whoa!
Isn't that cool?
That?
I know.
I have never seen this
I
machine.
love that. This is the Janome 9450.
Whoa.
Okay.
I love it.
Thank you.
It's pretty.
I kind of like it too.
It's fancy. So I'm just going to be putting 5 rows. And I'm just grabbing assorted. Of course, if I had a pattern to follow, I would be following my pattern as far as design and blocks go.
Okay, so we're used to this part, right?
Yeah,
a lot of
this is
quilters,
normal.
a lot of quilters know how to do this.
Yeah,
You're
chain
just
sewing.
chain sewing, chain
Yes.
piecing.
Yes.
Do you know what song I break out into when I do chain piecing?
What?
Come on.
Uh,
What song,
I'm
guys?
scared.
What song does Kris break out to when I start chaining? Are you ready? Can you think of it? Chain, 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 chain of fools.
Okay. Normally, if I'm piecing, I'm going to have long piece.
Okay.
Okay? And I would not normally cut. I would bring this around. And so I'm just going to bring this around and start on
Can you see yourself?
row 3. I can see myself.
Okay.
Hi.
Okay, so, whoa. Tell us what you're doing here.
Okay, so I'm going to have a quilt that's 5 by 4, basically.
Okay.
So I have got my 5 rows.
Okay.
That's what I have right here.
All right.
5 rows. And so I'm going to go 2 more across.
Whoa.
Yeah. but I'm not.
See, you didn't even cut your threads.
I didn't even cut my threads.
See, this confuses me. But Mary, she does
Yeah.
so good at this. I want to get better. I want to be like Mary when I grow up.
Oh, good luck with that.
Yeah. Notice again, she is not cutting her threads.
I am not. I just don't need to. Not till the very end. So I'm just grabbing pieces. And I'm going to sew. So this is my third row that I'm doing now.
Okay.
So I'm just sewing along.
Okay, sing it, Mary.
Chain, chain, chain.
Chain, chain, chain.
Chain of booze. I can't believe you sing that song.
I know. I belt it out.
Oh my goodness.
Yes, I belt it.
That's funny.
Anyone who comes to, who's in my classes, like in store in person, I don't know if I've done it yet with an online class.
Oh,
But we turn it on.
I bet.
We turn on the music.
Turn on the music and have a party.
Yes. Chain of Fools.
Okay. So now, let me see if I'm down to the end. Almost. I have one more to do.
Okay. You look like you have a huge mess there. That's what would confuse me.
Well, if I was making a big, when I do the big quilt,
Can you see okay?
it's huge.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, they can see me.
Okay.
They can see the machine.
Okay.
So, because this is little, I would probably trim,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm not going to.
I mean,
just for the
look
sake
at
of
this.
it. But
Look
even if
at
I
this.
wanted to, I could just cut that one right there.
Oh,
And
that's true.
There's the top,
Okay.
and there's the bottom.
Okay.
So not a big deal either way.
Okay.
So it's just that I don't. When I'm doing a quilt, it's usually 20 some odd rows.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not really
And then
worried
it'd be
about
bigger.
it. It gets big. So I have this big loop going all the way from around my table
And
to
then
the
you're
floor.
cutting it afterwards.
Yeah.
So you're not even pressing it.
No, I don't even press it.
Wow.
No. So when I get down here to the end, I can show you how to press it if you want. But I will show you how to sew it without it. And I'll press at the end. Okay, let's see.
Dee says that she thinks Mary has superpowers. Where's her cape?
Right? It only trips me up, so I leave it at home. Seriously. I'm too short for a cape. I fall over it.
It's in the laundry.
It's in the laundry. No. If I would fall up the stairs more often if I had a cape. All right. I'm just trying to pull something that's not the same.
Barbara said I would end up with such a mess if I tried this.
No, well, normally you have your pattern right next to you. You can see what goes next. Thread happened.
Oh, thread.
Thread, rethread. Let's see.
But while she's rethreading, but look at this. So she's got now all these rows put together.
Yeah.
That's amazing. So then when you're finished with that, Mary, are you going to cut this or are you going to wait?
No, I don't ever cut it.
Oh my gosh.
I never cut it.
You're giving me anxiety.
Never cut it. Okay, so I go down here to 5, and then what's 6 and 7?
Let's see. We're going to come here and right there.
Okay.
And we're going to pull it down. Oh, I didn't.
I
I'm doing it from a
Different
weird
angle.
angle. Do we have that in there?
Yeah.
Okay. Is the needle all the way up? Press your foot down.
Press your foot down.
Oh, sheesh. Okay.
Thread. Okay,
I'm
just
do you
going to
see
thread
what
the needle.
Okay, you just do that.
Let me lift this back up.
I'm doing it from the side and I can't see it very well.
Right. It's okay. I just didn't want to thread it
Julie
wrong.
says I think it makes sense.
It does.
She's going to try it.
Do it. And what I do is make 9 patches and then a solid square and then do every other just so you can kind of get the hang of it.
That's a good idea.
And then, okay, I may or may not be able to thread this. We'll see. There it is.
I can change the spots if you want.
Okay.
Okay. Go ahead and say hi to everyone.
I'll say hi to everyone. Oh, that's me really really close. Oh, okay. So she's going to get this thing threaded because she knows how.
Done.
Done. See? Takes a pro.
Oh, yeah.
There we go.
That's why I get paid the big bucks.
That's right. So, now I can just get this started again and start. Okay, and one more block. And we are going to pretend this is a huge quilt. So at the very end, I will cut it. And then all I have to do is pick up my quilt.
Okay, let's take a look at this. Oh my goodness gracious.
I can lay it out.
Oh my goodness.
And see, is everything where I want it to be?
Uh-huh.
And if it's not, then I can just whip it out, turn it, fix it.
Okay.
But I can leave it sewn.
Oh
So
my goodness.
now,
So what you're going to do, again, you are not...
I'm not doing anything. I'm going to sew this together.
Wow.
And I'm not going to press it. You could take one row, press one way, press the other way.
No, you're not going to do
I'm
that?
not going to do that.
All right.
You're just going to take your fabric. I butt up my ends. You know how to nest.
Yeah.
So I will
Making sure that the seams are going in opposite directions.
opposite directions.
So it's all like you basically have a quilt top there, but it's the thread is still all there. That just floors
and
me.
I leave it sewn. I don't need to undo it, so then I'll stop it there, and I just keep going. And I try to make sure that my top row is one direction, and my bottom row is the other.
And you don't like to use the foot pedal.
No, I don't use the foot pedal. Someone's calling me from the store, I'm sure.
I think they need a superhero.
They
They're
might.
calling for a superhero.
Ugh.
That brings me to another song. I need a hero. Boom, boom.
And this is when I cut. Okay, and so there's row 1 and 2 sewn
Oh my
together.
gosh, Mary, you're popular.
And now row 3, I'm telling you. I just do the same thing. And I can see that this was pressed to this direction from the way I sewed it from the previous row. So that's how I'll do it, so that they're the same on both sides. Okay? So I'm just going to nest that seam and start sewing. Fancy machine with all these buttons. And I just go to that seam, and then I stop and I make sure that my next seam is right where I want it to be. So, you know, if you have blocks that are a little bit larger, you can ease in that fabric, because I do that a lot. I do some fudge sewing.
Well, that's good to know.
But then I can put my seams together and tell how my blocks are going to be. And that way, if I needed to pull a little bit on one side or tuck on the other, I can.
This is looking really good, Mary.
Thanks.
I'm impressed. I'm impressed.
I've been doing this for probably close to 15 years. This technique. And one, I was doing a overnight mystery class.
So fun.
And it's the middle of the night, and I'm watching the girl next to me sew like this, and I'm like, what?
What is she doing?
And what is she doing? And so I was just asked her, and she showed me. I mean, look, there's 3 rows now.
Wow. And your points are matching up.
And
they look good.
My points are matching up, and so I'm going to see which way this goes. They obviously don't know that I'm talking to y'all.
Yeah, somebody's really trying to get a hold of you.
Let me go see.
Tell them.
It's Kyle.
It's Kyle. It's
Kyle. She can just keep calling. She's not watching me on 3 at 3, obviously.
That's right.
That's okay. All right. So, yeah, I've not. Once I started not using my presser foot. I just haven't gone back.
Wow.
I can slow my machine down as needed. I can speed it up as needed. Everything I do is without the presser foot now.
So you're watching this girl next to you in class, and you said,
Yes.
and she was just as speedy as could be.
Speedy, and I'm like,
Wait a minute.
I mean, I'm a quick sewer.
Yeah.
But how is she getting her quilt put together? And I was just like, okay. So she showed me this little trick. And ever since then,
Look
there's
at that.
another row.
Yay!
So we'll have a little
So
mini
cute.
quilt.
Oh, I'm super excited.
So even if I'm doing, I'll piece my squares, chainsaw my squares. Let me see which way this one needs to go. This way. I'll chainsaw my squares and all of that stuff, and then I'll get my blocks together.
Notice she's not even using pins.
No, they just hurt me.
They can't hurt a superhero. What are you talking about?
Yeah, the superhero bleeds, definitely, because those pins, they're so little, and they're so sharp.
They hurt.
They do hurt. So, I'm
Look
used
at
to
this. In no time at all, you were able to put
Yeah.
this together. And probably you'd even get it done faster if we weren't like watching and
yeah, of course.
you know, you weren't trying to explain everything as you go.
Oh, yeah. So, I mean, once you figure out the technique, and like I said, I can do it on the diagonal now. It is nifty. I do have to cut them
Life-changing.
apart on the diagonal, but then sewing them together. So if I was doing a little quilt, there it
Yay!
is. So that's, and I didn't cut. You could cut your ends if you want to as you're going rows and rows and rows, but I don't cut any threads. All those threads, those blocks are still sewn together.
I love it.
And I didn't have to snip anything. So you'll see there might be like, oh, let me see if I can bring that up there. A little loop of thread up there. Can you see that loop? See, yep, you can see it. That's where it's chained together. And it just stays there.
Okay, so Sybil had a question.
Yes.
She said, what does she mean by not using her presser foot? I missed
The
that.
foot
It's
on the
actually the
floor.
foot pedal.
The foot pedal.
The foot pedal. Yeah.
I don't like the foot pedals. If I can, one of my machines I have to use it, the other one I don't, and I prefer to use the one I don't have to use my foot pedal. And I just control it by the start and stop button. So then I can just control my sewing right up here with my hands, and I don't have to worry about the foot pedal.
Yeah, the foot pedal. Sorry
Yeah.
for the, I might have said presser foot.
That's okay, presser foot pedal, to me it's the same.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. So
That's a foot
then,
pedal.
of course, I can just go through and iron or press.
Yeah,
Just
we
pressing.
don't iron.
We press.
That's right.
So I would just take this and then take one row, come back, take the other row,
Oh,
go, do this row, and
Nice.
so forth and so on. Depending
okay.
on how much is on my iron. And then I can come to the front and really give it a good press in those seams. My iron is not hot, by the way, so it's not going to show you the crisp, but it would be, and you can see your points your seams match right on because you made them that way.
That's so great.
So that is my tip and trick that I've done for
Yay! Thank you,
15
Mary.
years. You're welcome.
Thank you. Wasn't that great?